Now, unwanted pregnancies can be down to confusion. Too many women don't know how to work out their menstrual cycle to be able to go without contraception at the right time without falling pregnant. There's also confusion about what to do after the deed's done. Janet Pearce is a nurse supervisor at Mary Stopes in Bristol.
Emergency contraception, which is to be used after the mishap, is readily available either to buy or on prescription from a doctor. It's called commonly the morning after pill, but it isn't actually only for use the morning after. It can be taken up to 72 hours, although it is most effective taken within the first 24 hours.
Now, this week we'll be looking more at unwanted pregnancies, and that includes myself, Matt and Caroline getting first-hand experience. We'll be having simulator newborn babies to see what it's actually like to be a parent.
This is Kiss.
There's concern one of the reasons women end up pregnant when they don't want to be is down to the knowledge of when it's safe to have sex. Janet Pearce is a nurse supervisor at Mary Stopes in Bristol. She says there are times in a woman's cycle you won't get pregnant without contraception, but not enough of us realise when it is.
There is probably a great deal of ignorance about the times in a menstrual cycle that women can get pregnant, and it's quite complex to work that out. And so really they should default to the state of thinking they can get pregnant at any time, so they shouldn't have unprotected sexual intercourse.
Now, this week we're going to be hearing more about dealing with unwanted pregnancies and how young parents deal with it, and that'll include myself, Matt and Caroline experience it firsthand. The guys will let you know what I mean later in the show.
This is Kiss. So you may have heard earlier, Matt, Caroline and Amy from Kiss Breakfast are finding out what it's like being mums and dads. They've all got their own simulator babies which need constant feeding, changing and cuddling. It's all part of trying to prevent the number of unwanted teenage pregnancies. Carmen's from Fairbridge in Bristol, which gives the babies out to youngsters to get a taste of what it's like being a parent. She says most of them give them back just after one night.
People have the misapprehension that babies wake up every 4 hours. In reality, they don't. Some babies just stay awake all day. So what setting you have, we've got easy, medium or hard. But the hard is still pretty easy compared to what it's like to have a real baby. So they will start crying instantly, and it depends on how they're holding them. So they have to hold them in the correct position to stop the baby crying.
Tune in tomorrow for Kiss Breakfast to find out how they got on their first night.
This is Kiss.
So we checked out Kiss Breakfast this morning. You may have heard that Matt, Caroline and Amy were all given a simulator baby to take home. They're finding out how their lives change once you become parents, as we highlight the risks about unwanted pregnancy among teenagers this week. Carmen from Fairbridge in Bristol also hands the babies out to youngsters to give them an idea of what it's like being a full-time mum or dad. She said once they get them back, they're put off for a long time.
They start treating them as real babies, and these mechanical babies have floppy heads. They respond to different stimuli. You have to change the nappies, you have to feed them, and it programs how you look after them and what the care level's like. We record shaken baby syndrome. It record how many times you've fed them, when you've ignored them, how often you've changed the nappies.
This is Kiss.
Now, this week we're looking at the impact having a baby has on young parents. Last night, Matt, Caroline and I all spent our first nights with our simulated babies and didn't get much sleep listening out for them to cry. Carmen from Fairbridge in Bristol gives the babies out to teenagers to let them get an idea of what it's like to be a parent.
Some young people think, well, it'd be really nice to have a baby because it's something that belongs to them, that's going to love them unconditionally, but they don't realise that the work and the problems that are associated with having a baby.
This is Kiss.
Now, last night we got our first sleepless night with our new simulator babies. Matt and I were on tenterhooks just waiting for hours to cry. Carmen from Fairbridge in Bristol gives the babies out to youngsters so they can get an idea of what it's like being a teenage parent.
They came back tired, but, put off, but not totally put off, because the idea is not to scare them off of having children, to give them a realistic overview of what it's like to have a child at that age.